Paul here prayed that he might be able to come and visit these saints in Rome soon. And he said, by God's will, if the Lord is willing, I want to come to you. And he even uses he says, at last. And this indicates that he had been desiring this, wanting this for quite some time, for a long time. And one obstacle after another would prevent Paul from reaching Rome. Possibly one of those obstacles was that back in the edict that was given back in AD 49, which Claudius had said, Jews need to get out of Rome. You can't be here in Rome. So that kept Paul from going to Rome for about 6 years. But he has still wanted to get back there, wanted to get to Rome. He says he has a gift to share with these Roman Christians. And the gift that he wants to share with them is his testimony and to hear about their testimonies and the faith that they have. And Paul says there in verse 11 that this gift would strengthen him, strengthen them. And Paul's desire is to go to Rome, not merely just to give to them, but also to receive from them. Because Paul realizes that they have a mutual faith that is just going to build each other up. That's why we come to church, right? We just, podcasts are podcasts. But we come to church because we need to get the fellowship. We need to look in people's eyes. We need to see the hurt. We need to see the joys. We need to share that together. And so he has something to give to them. They have something to give to him. It's this mutual faith that they have. And Paul recognized that he had something of a debt to Rome. The Roman Empire brought world peace. It brought order. It brought all kinds of civilization, common culture, a beautiful transportation system. And Paul was using all of this to get the gospel out even faster. He was able to travel better. And he says, I owe it to Rome and to the rest of the world. I want to give to Rome the good news of the gospel of Jesus Christ. And Paul was a tireless evangelist. He was always on the move, all over the world, because he believed in his heart that he had a debt to pay. God had done something amazing in his heart. And it wasn't just for him. He owes it to the world to share the gospel. Paul's love for this Christian fellowship, he felt was an obligation to preach the gospel. He was obliged. He needed to be sharing the gospel, yes, with the Gentiles, but with everybody. And he wants to visit Rome in order to do more of that. So having received this grace from God himself, he wants to not just hold that to himself, but to share that with others. And he feels this debt to other people to share that gospel message. And he owed them the opportunity to hear. He owed them the opportunity to receive God's grace for themselves. Now, every Christian is also indebted, right? If Paul is indebted, then we're indebted. That, what I have is not something that I just sit on and hide and keep for myself. I share that with all those that I can. I impart life to other people because they hear the gospel. They turn from their sins. Sins are deadly. They're going to die in their sins, and they need the gospel. So all of us share that.